turtle tutus! Are you ready to start part 2's episode of making and decorating our mermaid cake? Last time on Mermaid Syrena making a mermaid cake, it was mertastic, but we didn't get to finish in part 1. So here we are in part 2. And in this time, we're going to be making the cake look so oceany, because we're adding seashells, we're adding sea pearls, we're adding sea stars, and all sorts of fun things that you find under the sea. The mermaid tail mold is just so cute. I'm so excited to use it for this cake. There are so many wonderful, beautiful, and colorful things found in the ocean. You see them all the time in those under the sea videos and movies. So I am trying here to make my own seashell molds so that I can make more seashells for my cakes. So this one, I'm taking some very small seashells that I brought with me from the beach, and I am placing them here on this little platform of foil, tin foil, and I'm lining them up, and then you see my hot glue gun there to the upper right. I am going to try to make a mold by hot gluing over the shells. So I'm just lining up all the different shells. I have different sizes and different colors even, which the colors don't really matter because I'm going to be painting once I have the molds and start casting the molds and making the different shapes. But this is me just lining everything up and trying to make myself a mold cast. So that's what it's called. Because this was my very first time in trying to make my own mold out of glue using this little plastic thingy, it didn't go as well as I thought it was gonna go. I'm not sure if I show in the clip, but there are some shells that got broken. I was pretty sad about those shells that got broken because they are some of my favorite shells that I've collected from all around the world. But now they're gone, and I've saved them in little pieces, but I'm not sure what I am going to do with them just yet. It's time to make the glaze, also known as the cake frosting. So this is obviously a fake bake cake, so I'm making some fake frosting using some acrylic paint and Mod Podge glossy glue mixed in, and I'm gonna put it on top of the cake and let it drip off the sides for a really cool effect. Here is my lightweight spackle. I am just using this, and I'm going to be making some more of the under the sea moldings. So with some of the glue molds that did come out, I am, as you can see right here, I'm filling them with the lightweight spackle. Now it does take, for this size, at least a day for them to dry, and then I can paint them the colors that I would like. But right here you can see that I'm just filling up these hot glue molds and putting in some of that lightweight spackle into them so that I can set them apart to dry. These guys are great. These are just shells that I am using to drop inside of some acrylic paint. I'm using gold because we're doing a gold mermaid cake for my Goldie mermaid tail. And so I'm just putting those in there and then moving the shells around inside of the actual acrylic paint. And then I'm just going to take it out. I'm pretty sure I put a little bit of the Mod Podge glue in here, the glossy Mod Podge, so I didn't have to go back and seal these with the Mod Podge glue, so they already will have that coating on them. So I'm doing like different types of seashell techniques to put onto the fake mermaid cake. I need to make a different mermaid tail for my mermaid cake than the one that I had with the lightweight spackle. It just didn't dry, and it took, it was like over a week already. So it was starting to just not look really pretty. So I decided to make one with the hot glue gun. It's a lot quicker. It's going to dry within seconds. And then I can already paint it, which is really, really nice. So I'm going to make a new one, and this one I'm going to paint gold, just like Goldie. My seashell molds are finally ready. So we finally have a mermaid tail mold that I like. This one was made out of the molding clay. And then these were also made out of the molding clay. So it's another shell. I took it from, let's see if I can find it real quickly. Oh, I was able to find it. So I took it from this really pretty shell. And then what else do we have? So we have a shell, and then we have just a seashell with kind of like a flat back. It's kind of concaved, but I needed it to be flat to fit onto the cake, so that works. And then we have this star. So the star, as you can see, I molded it from that star. I was able to hot glue all of those and then make a molding out of them, which is really cool. I haven't tried to just break this off right here with just my finger, but I was using my scissors and I wanted to show you on camera what I was doing. So you see how that's kind of, it's really nice. I don't know where that went. But there's a little bit left right there. See if we can get it. It's tricksy, like you gotta kind of mess around with it until it like pops all the way off. But the good thing is that these molds are finally dry. They take like days to dry. So these little ones, these ones only took 2 days to dry. But then when I pulled them out of the mold, this one was like still a little bit wet on the top. And I wasn't sure if I'm supposed to touch it or not with my finger, if it was going to leave like a fingerprint, but it looks like a shell, so that's good enough for me. And then these are made with the molding clay. So I would take the star and I pressed it in there, and then I waited a full day so they could dry a little bit, because if you try to take it out, like you see a lot of videos out there, they'll say take it out immediately, but it kept messing up my mold. So I waited 24 hours and then I pulled it out slowly, and it was enough for the clay to get hardened. I still want this to harden for another couple of days before I put the hot glue inside of there. But there's that mold. And then here's the one of the seashell. So I put the seashell in there, and then you can see how cool that looks. So there's the shell again. And then we have, hope you guys can see all those. And then we have the just a regular shell like that one. So I had put the shell inside of there in order to make this mold. Now those obviously are not from here. These are from like the actual little pieces themselves. And the shell's around here somewhere, but it broke in half, so it was kind of difficult to make that mold. But those are going to be used with hot glue. These were made with mold. It's kind of difficult to understand, but let me see if I can grab it. Hold on. Okay. So these right here, which are so hard to clean, but these are made from these. So this is just a hot glue mold. I took it and I poured hot glue on top and then let it dry in seconds, which is really nice. It dried so quickly. But then this part, when you put the mold inside, it needs like at least 2 days for these small ones to mold. But you can see even there a little bit gets like left inside there, which I'm just not a fan of that. Don't really like that. But that was the best we could do with that one. Go ahead and paint my little shells and my mermaid tail. I'm going to mix the glossy Mod Podge into this little container. So I'm going to do two different colors. This is my first color. It's going to be the golden torch. I'm going to add a little bit of the Mod Podge glue inside. It's always so difficult for me to tell where this is like coming out. Yay, I found it. Okay. So I mix that. And then let's see how much of this golden torch is left. There's still a little bit in there, which is good. But I have a new one ready to go. Golden torch. I should properly take off the cap, but we'll do it later. Okay, so that should be more than enough. I'll probably end up saving it for the next project. And then we're just going to add in a little bit of the glitter. That glitter is like so hard to see until you like tilt it, you see? There it is. But it comes out very easily, so I try not to use too much. But there's the glitter. And then I'm going to go back and do the same thing with this, what is this? This is our solid bronze. So I'm going to do the same thing that I just did. I'm going to put it in this container. So we're going to have two different colors. So this one, let's mix it up. Mix, mix, mix. Okay, and then after I'm done kind of like mixing that up, got a little bit of paint on my hands. Let's get that off. Okay, so after I'm done mixing that, I just want to paint the seashell for now, so we can move the molds out because we're going to use them on a different one. But we are going to use these ones that came from the hot glue to paint them the gold and bronze. This is going to be that golden torch because it's going to go on top of the cake. So it's going to go on like the very, very top. It's going to be so pretty. Okay. So let's find the paintbrush. Here we go. And then I'm going to let this dry on each side before I continue to the next side. I'm going to let it dry. So I'm going to start with this side and then flip it over. Wow, I gave myself definitely a lot of paint. I did not need so much paint. But we also don't know how many coats because this is my first time using the molding clay So I really technically don't even know how many coats of this I'm even gonna need on each side. But we're gonna find out. That looks so pretty. Of course, it's still gotta dry. I'm gonna start with this one coat and let it dry. It shouldn't take that long. And then I'm gonna just go ahead and do another coat before I flip to the other side. Alright, so put that down. And let's do the back of our long shell. Okay, so there's our long shell. It's not taking very long to paint these, that's for sure. Uh-oh. Oh, it's so small, it's so tricksy. Okay. I have to redo that one. Oh, that's right. These are not supposed to be gold. Uh-oh. Well, it's okay. I will go ahead and do one coat of the gold and then go back and do them in bronze on the front. Should be fine. I had to make sure that was the back of this one, not the front. Let's see. Yep. Okay, so that is definitely the back. And now I'm going to go ahead and mix the gold and bronze so that on the front of these three, they're going to be gold and bronze. I'm going to leave them the solid bronze, I mean. I'm going to leave them this color on the back, and then I'm going to flip them over on the front for the bronze color. But the mermaid tail will be all golden touch. It's finally time. Let's decorate! Gonna take a little bit of seaweed. Just using a little bit of the spackle with the paint. I'm using the lightweight spackle and a little bit of the gold acrylic paint in order to adhere the pieces onto the mermaid cake. All of my little seashell creations are going on one by one. The mermaid cake is looking so beautiful. Now listen, I know that it's a fake mermaid cake, but look at this. Look at the details. I have seaweed, sea stars, seashells of all different sizes. There's so much gold and bronze, which is the color of my goldy mermaid tail. I even have these scales. Look at these shiny, slimy scales, mermaid fish scales that I have at the top of the cake. That's right on top of where that icing, the frosting drizzle that I put on here. It is absolutely gorgeous. I really want to just take a little time for you guys to just get to see this and enjoy it just as much as I have. In person, I feel like it's even prettier than it is picking up on the camera. I feel like the camera is having a little bit of a tough time picking up all of the details of this, but I'm having a fun time decorating. Oh, do you see the seashell pearls? There's seashell pearls all at the bottom of the cake as well. It is just, it's really, really lovely. Now make sure that you're following my blog, which is on my website, if you want to see the step-by-step details that are written down if you're interested in making this mermaid cake as well, my little fake bake.